Riyad is a great example in my personal story, because Riyad was one of the most talented players that I played with. He was an unbelievable player, and we still are great friends. And for us to be able to be that close as friends and that competitive on trainings and games, that standard, I saw Riyad do things in training sessions and in games where I felt, I need to do well here if I want to get some minutes, you know?
The official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the official Man City podcast. I'm your host, George Kelsey, joined by my other co-host, Sam Cox. How are you, Sam?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Very excited to welcome the captain, Bernardo Silva. Yeah, Bernardo, firstly, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
How have you been?
Yeah, good. We've just had a few days off, so it was good to relax. And now back to work, back to the competition.
Yeah, definitely. How were those days off? What did you get up to, or just fully detox
Family
and get away?
And friends, that's it. We try to relax. I try to put my mind off football completely, because when I come back, I need to be 100% on it.
Yeah, it's been a really busy period, hasn't it, leading up to that? So I suppose taking the time away physically and mentally is so important when we look at such an important end to the season as well.
For sure, especially with the schedule now, it's really important to get your mind a bit off it. Spend time, in my case, with my daughter, with my wife, and with my dogs. So yeah, it's good. It was good, and now we're back to the tough part of the season, where everything happens.
We spoke about the schedule. We had John Stones on a few weeks ago, and obviously getting through in the Champions League meant no playoff game. Obviously helps with the schedule. We also mentioned watching the Benfica game in the dressing room. Can you talk us through that from your perspective, obviously from your connections with Benfica?
Yeah, so, well, to be fair, if we should have scored more goals in that game. If we knew maybe earlier, maybe we would have gone for it, because at half time I remember asking Pep Linders and Colo, and they said, wow, the results are really good for us right now. So we were like 4th or 5th in the table, and then at the end, when the game ends, we were depending on Benfica not to concede. But on that moment, I was just focused on us being on top 8, obviously, because, as you said, avoiding those 2 extra games for our injured players to come back, and also for the players that have had a lot of minutes to relax a bit and to be able to rest their bodies. It was really important. And when we see the Benfica goalkeeper going up, we're like, what is he doing? Please don't. And at the end, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, because we would have played those 2 games. It is what it is. But we definitely wanted to have those 2 full weeks to recover the team, to now in the last 3 months of the season be able to go for it. It's a big challenge, but we're ready.
That's the key thing, isn't it? Because this is the exciting and the important end to the season, and having the opportunity to rest and recover now, ready for that 3 months, is so important compared to maybe other teams competing that have now had to consider those extra games to come back in again. Yeah,
definitely. And especially with the amount of injuries that we had, there was a period, I think it was January, where we lost like Ruben and Joskan, when we had a lot of players also already injured. And we had that tough period, and now I feel like everyone is coming back, so the team is at full strength to go to the last three months of the season, where we're still fighting for all competitions, which is good. So we're in a good position, knowing that the challenge is very tough, but at least everyone is back. We have the full squad with us, and we're ready to fight.
I suppose the first hurdle of that is the Carabao Cup final, League Cup final, in March at Wembley. I mean, you've played in a lot of cup finals. The League Cup, I imagine, is very special as well, because it's the first trophy, apart from the Community Shield, if you're in it, that you can win.
It's the first trophy that you can win in the season. No, it's and also in terms of the boost that it gives you, the confidence that it gives to the team to win that first title of the season, it's massive. So we know that we're playing against a very good side as well. It's a tough challenge, but as I said, with the full squad, we feel pretty confident that we can do well.
That first, because it was the first trophy you won at City back in 2018, actually against Arsenal in the final. Hopefully that's a good omen. You never know. How much of an impact did that win have? We were obviously flying in the league at that point, but still getting that first trophy over the line. How much did that boost the players for the final 2 months of the season?
Well, especially when you're a young team like we were at the time. We did have our experienced guys with Fernandinho, Vincent, Kun Agüero, David Silva. All those guys gave us that extra experience that we also needed to go through the final hurdle and to win trophies. But as a young team, to win titles gives you a lot of confidence, and it makes you a bit more relaxed in terms of when you then go for the other ones. So us being a young team again, I think it's really important that we try and go for that win.
Did it sort of alleviate some of the pressure maybe on that Pep side? Because the first season as the club and the players, obviously you weren't here, but they were adapting to his football. I think it was a fourth place finish and no trophies. There's a lot of noise about Pep's football. So to get that one over the line, being the first trophy of the season, how much pressure did that alleviate before going on to the era we've seen since?
Well, I wasn't here in that season. I arrived in the season after, but so I didn't experience that. I wouldn't say, with all the respect, that the Carabao Cup is as important as the Premier League, because like when the season starts, you have two main competitions where if you win any of those, it's a successful season: Premier League and Champions League. So it doesn't alleviate completely the pressure that to win the Premier League, but it definitely gives you more confidence and a boost to go for the other ones. For me, as a young guy arriving at a top club, and my goal being to win titles, to win that first one was really nice. It felt really good.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about it was a young team then, and it's a young team now. We asked John a few weeks ago, like, yourself, John, and Phil are kind of the only three players left from that first season.
Yeah, you're right.
You talk, yeah, good. Do my research. I'm glad I got it right. But you talk about like that hunger, that sort of desire to win that first trophy, that first title. Do you notice the same sort of mentality and sort of fire in the eyes of the new younger players now that have come in and are looking to sort of get that first win?
For sure, and especially because now they know the standard that this club requires, the standard that we in the last, I would say, 9 years, we set at this football club. It gives them even more hunger to go for it and to say, look, we're also capable of that, because this club in the last years we proved that if you want to be a part of it, you need to be a winner. So I see the fire in their eyes, and that's a very good thing.
It's exciting.
Yeah, you said there obviously the first Carabao Cup was the first trophy. Obviously moving to City, obviously a massive move. A few of those players have made the same move in the summer and January, obviously with Mark and Antoine as well. Does your role maybe change to maybe what Company and Fernandinho did for you? Are you kind of trying to do the same sort of mentorship for them?
Every player has a different character, a different personality, but for sure, Fernandinho and Vincent, my first captains here, they were very good examples. Yeah. Not only in the way that they welcomed me, I felt at home from day one, and that's what us, the older guys, we try to make them feel that way as well. But also in the way that they behaved every training session, every game. So I try to be an example on the pitch. I try to be an example every training session, the same way that I want them to feel relaxed, comfortable, to maximize their talents, because they have a huge talent. These guys that just joined the club in the last 2-3 years, they're really, really good, and they can put this club exactly where it was, in a place where we can fight for titles every season.
Mm-hmm. And how excited are you to be back at Wembley again? I know there's like a sort of informal joke that it's Etihad South because we've had such a great record there recently. But how excited are you to be back there, and how special is it?
It's always nice. It's true that I've been there quite a lot, so it doesn't feel very new to me, but it's so exciting to be there. When you're there, it means that the team is doing really well. For you to book a place in a Wembley game, you need to do well, so we're going to enjoy it.
And as you said earlier, a very tough opponent in Arsenal. They've obviously proven this season and previously that they're more than capable of mixing it at the top. I was just wondering how you see that rivalry at the moment with Arsenal. I think the obvious one is Liverpool, where we've consistently competed with them for years at the top. But Arsenal have also started sort of lingering there. They've maybe not got over the line yet in terms of winning the league, but how do you view the rivalry growing with them between the two clubs?
Well, when you have a team that is close to you, competing with you, you like, for example, when we won in the first years, we weren't, maybe in the beginning when I arrived, I wasn't expecting Liverpool to become our rival, and then they became our rivals. So in my time here, I always, as you said, think that Liverpool was our main rivals, and even they won last season, so that has to mean something. But yeah, for sure, this season where they are, in terms of being in the final with us in the Carabao Cup, them being top of the league, they can be considered that.
Yeah, and not just Arsenal, but any of these big games. How much do you and the players love those games? Because obviously we as fans and media, etc., really look forward to them. I know you guys have got to be like game by game. You can't stumble at the hurdle before it. But when it comes to those games, how much do you enjoy it, and how much does it bring out of you as players as well?
Well, when you have our schedule, you learn with time that all games are really important because not long ago, for example, the same points that we won against Liverpool away are the same points that we also dropped, for example, against Tottenham away, or Brighton at home, or Chelsea at home, or Sunderland away. You know, so every game is really important. Then as a young player, as a kid, when you're growing up and you want to become a footballer, you dream of playing these type of games. You dream of playing the derbies, the games against Liverpool, the Champions League semi-final or final, the FA Cup final. So these games are definitely special, and we're looking forward to those games, obviously knowing that if you don't do well in the small games, I don't like to call them that, there's just no point. There's just no point.
For you going to Wembley, obviously, as George said, you've been there quite a few times with City. Does that special occasion feel the same every time going to Wembley?
I would be lying to you if I said that the first one is the same, the feeling. Especially not in terms of wanting to win, because I do feel that I want to win as much as I wanted to win 9 years ago. Yeah. But in terms of being nervous, I can deal very well with much better with my emotions right now than I was dealing 9 years ago. So when you've been there 20 times, it's not the same. It's normal. It's normal.
So dealing with those emotions then, does that just essentially come with experience? Like, how do you compare from now to back then?
For sure. Like when you concede a goal, the way you deal with that, when you miss a pass, when you make a stupid mistake, especially in those bad moments, how do you deal with that? And definitely when you're 30 years old, you deal with it better than when you're 20.
Yeah. Got to talk about we talked about Liverpool a little bit earlier, and immediately I was thinking in my head, I've got to talk about Anfield, the win at Anfield a few months ago. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of City fans that was a really special
for City fans and for City players.
Exactly, yeah. So how was it for you?
Well, as you said, so it's my 9th season at the club, and apart from the COVID season without fans, which is not the same thing, it's the first time that I won there. It's for sure the toughest place to play at in the Premier League, in my opinion. Probably also because in this period of time, their team was really, really good. I would say that the toughest rival that I've played against was that Jurgen Klopp side when they reached three Champions League finals in like 5 years or something like this. So that made it difficult, the atmosphere with that team. But to finally win there, it felt really good. Also in the way that it was and in the moment that it was, that kept us a bit more in the title race, closer to Arsenal. So it was a nice feeling.
You talked about the experience you've gained in 9 years. How sort of big will that be for the young members of the group that we've talked about to get a result like that at Anfield, maybe going into the rest of this season, but beyond as well? For sure, because I would say that the emotional part of going into that game and feeling like we never win here, that plays also a part in any place.
So for these young guys to do that so early, I would say that it's important. Yeah.
There was a lot with that game as well. We'd obviously dominated the first half and so on, had a lot of chances, and then when Sloboslai's goal goes in, as incredible as a strike as it is, there's probably a bit where you're thinking, oh God, here we go again. Like, we've done so well. So, like, I suppose, how important was it that we've then gone and won that game in really dramatic fashion, but mentally to know that we can do it?
I would say that in Anfield it happened a lot. There was, I felt like through the years that in a lot of the games we were better than them for a big part of the game, and either for the emotions that stadium bring, it always felt really close, and we never did it. So yeah, when he scored that unbelievable goal, it felt difficult to go after the game, but we always believe we can do it, and we did it.
I loathe mentioning him on a Man City podcast, but have you heard Gary Neville's commentary just before your goal from that game, what he said?
No.
It's amazing. So it was as the play's being built up, and as he's putting it in, he goes, City need Bernardo Silva or Erling Haaland or somebody to step up, and then Erling flicks it onto you, and then literally within like 5 seconds.
That's nice. That's nice.
It's such a cool spot. I just wanted to bring it up. I wanted to ask about captaincy. First year as the captain, you were part of the leadership group before then. How have you enjoyed being captain this season, and has your role sort of changed at all from when you were just part of the leadership group?
Yeah, it gives you a bit more responsibility for sure. It's a different role. I would say that I behave exactly the same way that I've always behaved since I joined the club. I tried to be an example in the way that I behave, like I told you guys before. And the main thing I would say is to create the right environment on the dressing room. Not just me, but all the captains, and we've been trying to do that. Me personally, I've been a part of the captains group for 2 or 3 years, and the main thing is for us to respect each other, to create the rules, to create the standards, but also at the same time to be very competitive with each other. Because like when I have on my position, when I played winger, when I have Riyad Mahrez performing at that level, I need to perform at a higher level, and then he needs to perform at a higher level, and that brings the best in the team. Like, so we need as captains, we need to try to create that environment of respect and competitiveness to be able to be successful as a team, and then obviously to set the standards in every training session, in every game, and to be an example like the other guys were for me when I arrived here.
With the new players that have come in, as we've spoken about a little bit already, are you seeing that in training that their standards maybe are already going up because of the challenge that they've got in their position, as you spoke about there?
For sure, you feel. I think Riyad is a great example in my personal story, because Riyad was one of the most talented players that I played with. He was an unbelievable player, and we still are great friends. And for us to be able to be that close as friends and that competitive on trainings and games, that standard, I saw Riyad do things in training sessions and in games where I felt, I need to do well here if I want to get some minutes, you know. And I think that he also felt the same way about me. So it's good when you have this in a team, when you have these players that are able to be close, but at the same time be really competitive. I want to take minutes off him. I want to be better than him. I want to I want to defend better than him. I want to score more goals or assists than him. You know, it's nice.
I think, as you've said, and it's very obvious within the team that these standards are set. There's a real sort of desire to push each other. But when there is success in those moments, it's really clear that you all really get on as well, a really close bond. How important is it to strike that balance in your position as well, Bernardo, as somebody who is constantly pushing your teammates and yourself to be better, but then also being someone who maybe puts an arm around the shoulder, gives people praise, gives them their flowers when they deserve it, and sort of having those two different personalities, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's not easy to combine those two in some moments.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I definitely try to do it as best as possible, because that's the way that I was welcomed here when I arrived. As let's say naturally, I'm more either a number 8, number 10, or a right winger. When I arrived here, I had as a 10 or 8, I had Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, and David Silva, and as a winger on the right side, I had Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez the season after. Yeah. So you look at these players and the quality that it's here, and you think and the way that they welcomed me, they helped me. It was really good. So I remember David in my first 6 months, for example. I wasn't playing that much because I was new, and the team was more or less always the same when we were flying in the league the year of the 100 points. When Sterling was playing on the right, and then you had Kevin and David playing in the middle. So Gundogan was also on the bench, and I remember David coming to me and then saying, "Bernardo, are you okay? Keep going," and then giving me these words of encouragement, of help. At the same time that he knew that I was also competition for him in the future. So to create that balance and the experience that I had in the past show that if we create this bond, we're closer to win. Yeah. So I try definitely to do that with the new guys that come to the club.
Because there also might be that moment where somebody might be off on international duty. I don't know if there's like an African Cup of Nations, or somebody's injured or drops form. The other players that aren't playing need to feel motivated and ready to step in.
It's when you're not playing, sometimes you're called when you expect it the least. So, and the team needs those guys to be ready. I was, as I said to you, well, maybe in my 9 years at Man City, I've been a starter for 8 of the 9. So it was just my first season that I didn't start that many games. But the team needed me in some moments, and I was there, I was ready. And
I remember against Chelsea, you got those goals, didn't you? You got the win.
So, like, when you're a bit sad and upset because you don't play, then someone gets injured. I remember in the second part of the season, Leroy and Raheem got injured in different times for 1 or 2 months, so I had to play right wing that season for 3-4 months as a starter, and I wasn't expecting that. And you need to be ready, so for sure.
Yeah, it's probably a difficult question. I'm sure you get this a lot, and it's like not sure how to answer. But as you say, you've now been at the club for 9 years. When you first joined the club, did you kind of come to City thinking this is something that is going to be long term for my career? I'm feeling really settled, or has it maybe surprised you slightly that you've been here as long? It
really surprised me that I stayed this long, because I would say that every time that I joined the club, I only joined 2, to be fair, Monaco and City. Yeah. I was also feeling I want to do well this season, or the next, or the first 2-3 seasons, and see where it goes. Because do I feel well in this city? Do I feel well in this club? Where do I want to go from here? So for sure, it was a surprise that I stayed until now 9. But it's been a really fantastic journey for me. I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to be at a top club fighting for titles every year, and so I will always be very grateful to this club.
I think we're very grateful as well.
Is that another maybe example of the mentality you have, and we've seen from the team, that it's not looking too far ahead in the future, and that's kind of contributed to so much success, but also for as we spoke about, 9 years as well.
Yeah, because if you look at the most of the players, it's not easy to be at the football at the like. Man City is one of the best clubs in the world. In the last 10 years, we've been not to sound too arrogant, top 5, top 3 best football teams in the world. So it's not easy to stay there, to stay at Man City, at Real Madrid, at Barcelona, at Bayern Munich, PSG, or Liverpool for this long, playing, starting. So when you go and prepare the future, you're not thinking 9 years ahead. You're thinking 1, 2, 3 years maximum, because it's difficult to stay at the high level for this long. So I'm really happy that I was able to do that.
Yeah, obviously go into as much detail as you want here, but obviously over those years, a lot of top clubs will have been really interested in trying to get you to come to them. You're one of the best in the world. So, like, what what about City or Manchester generally made you decide, actually, I'm going to stay longer and longer and longer each time?
Well, I would say that if I have two sides of my life, right? So I have the football side of my life, the professional side of my life, and then my life at home, where my wife and my daughter right now are really, really important to me. So I definitely need a balance, and to understand throughout my life, I always made decisions together with my wife what was best for our family. And I would say that, I always joke, I would say that culturally Portuguese and English are quite different, because the weather is very different, the food is very different, the way of living is not very different, but a bit different. I always joke and say that if Manchester City was located a bit more south of Europe, I would stay here until people kicked my ass and out of the club, because I truly love the football club. I love my teammates. I love the staff. I love the fans. I love the stadium. I love the atmosphere. I love everything about my professional life. Then the other side of my life, it's different, because it's different. I'm not saying that I don't like, but culturally it's not 100% what I would ideally want in my life. So for some year, in some moments, especially sometimes you're not feeling as happy as you want to be. I was before I met my wife, I was alone in Manchester for a period of time where I didn't feel that well with not my professional life, but with myself. And I definitely thought a lot about leaving, not because I didn't like the football club, which I already told you that I really love, but because of the other side of my life. And at the end, it didn't happen. I'm really happy that it didn't.
Yeah.
I'm really happy, because I would have probably lost the opportunity to live the memories of the treble, the 4 in a row. Even now, these memories, this opportunity of being a captain, of being in the leadership group, and pass all this experience to the young guys, and trying to put the club back where it deserves to be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if Manchester City was in Lisbon, I would stay until I'm 40.
Tell you what, Bernardo, I think I would as well. I'd be straight over there now. What an amazing city Lisbon is.
Yeah.
Manchester's good too, by the way, for anyone who's going to...
It's a good city. It's a good city.
Amazing. Should we move on to talk about Pep very briefly? Obviously, been your manager for, 9 years now. Are there still bits and bobs that he does even this season that sort of surprise you or challenge you in ways you might not have expected? And if so, have you got any sort of examples, again, without giving away trade secrets?
I wouldn't say that it surprised me, because it definitely challenges you, because Pep tries to adapt to the way football is played, and football has changed quite a lot. So the Premier League is very, very physical, very, very aggressive. And also with the players that you have, you also need to adapt. You need to find different ways of taking the best out of your players. So no surprises, because he has always done that. He's always tried to change the way that we play every season. So also the other teams, they don't adapt to us. They don't know how we're gonna play. But it's been a challenge, because to think that you have to play in a different way every season, and to learn new things, and to adapt to new players also, it's definitely challenging, but it's also really nice. It's a very good challenge.
Yeah, it's that as you say, that mentality of you need to change and improve when you're at the top. As you say, City have kind of been able to do in those other big teams and adapt. Let's talk about the fans, because the fans absolutely love you. You're obviously a massive fan favourite. We had John on, he's in a similar situation. Like, what does that connection with the City fans mean to you, and how much do you feel that love?
From day one, I always felt a great connection with them. And I would say that we were talking about me eventually thinking about leaving. There was a period, and there was those first games of the season where a lot of news were coming out, and stories and stuff. And you go into that game with the feeling like, Are they not happy with you? And the reaction from the fans, it was always unbelievable in a surprising way, even for me, because in other places maybe I would have been booed or something. And here, the way they always respected me as a player and as a person, they welcomed me first and then respected me and helped me. Maybe it was one of the main things that kept me staying at this club for so long, was the way that they also approved of me as a player, as someone that always gave 100% on the pitch, and the relationship with the fans has been definitely really, really good.
Yeah, and I think your chant's probably one of the famous ones as well, isn't it? We absolutely love it.
It's a good chant, yeah.
How much do you love your chant?
I was lucky that my chant. Well, they started. So the Istanbul final got delayed like 3 years or something. No, it was supposed to be Istanbul. Then they changed because of something to another place. Then they changed again. And I think it was written that we would win in Istanbul. So it was nice. The chant is really nice.
How do you hope that the fans will remember you as a player and as a person?
Well, it's a collective sport. The memories are always better when they're shared with someone. I always feel that way. So just to feel that I was part of, in my opinion, the best generation of English football, which I believe we were, because 100 points, the domestic quadruple, the treble, the 4 in a row. No generation did this. So to feel that I was a part of that, that's enough for me. No matter if I was a bit more, for some people, more important in the squad or less, I would just say that every single one of us needs to be really proud that we created that bond in the team, that atmosphere in the stadium, and that we reached that level. So I'm just really happy that I was a part of that.
Yeah,
well said.
When you're a parade or the events that we've seen after you've won things, when you see what it means to the fans in the parade, in the moment of celebration, what is that like from your perspective?
It's what football is about. So what you want is your fans to feel proud and to feel that you gave everything. And when you win, even more, because that's all you fight for. And knowing the story of this football club and what they've gone through, having to watch Man United win so much, and now in the last since I've been here, we always finished above them. For example, in the Premier League, for us to be above them, the feeling that we give them, it's really nice. It's really nice, and to see that appreciation that they have, it's really good that we make them feel proud, we make them feel happy. What was the parade that it was pouring rain?
That was the treble.
That was the treble. It was also written that needed to be a day of raining. That was the best parade ever.
Yeah.
So good.
I've been in 6 parades. 6 parades, that by far was the best. Especially because it was warm, but it was raining and people were going crazy. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. What memories.
It was
so good. Right, we'll move on to the quick fire round. I mean, we could speak to you all day, Bernardo, but obviously you're a busy man. You've got training to go to, so we'll try and be quick. Okay, so you can just give like a one-word answer, a little bit of an explanation. Best goal you've scored for City?
Best goal I've scored for City. Not the best, but the most important. Real Madrid at home, the first one.
Yeah.
Semi-final.
Yeah.
Great shout.
Yeah. We might know the answer to this one, but who would you say the hardest opponent you've played for City has been?
The hardest opponent, it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
The 2 seasons in a row. So the season that we won the domestic quadruple. No, not 2 seasons in a row, because then we were not very good the season after. So that season, and then the season when we won also the Premier League, and they also got to the Champions League final. So,
the Aston Villa.
That club side in general, that was by far the best rival that we played against.
Yeah.
Was there
Madrid in the Champions League? Also is a good answer, obviously. But I'm going with Liverpool.
Yeah.
Good shout. Is there an individual in that Liverpool team that really stood out, or was it just the collective?
I think they were a very different style of play, but in a way they were very similar to us, because we obviously had our Kevin De Bruyne's and David Silva's and whoever, and they had the Mo Salah and Mane, but it was a very collective side as well. Yeah. I remember they were very competitive. You saw Sadio Mane was a nightmare in terms of how we, as an attacker, how we defended, how we pressed, how we fought for every ball. It was a very good side.
Brilliant. 30-yard screamer to win a game, or a Panenka winner in a penalty shootout? What would you prefer?
A Panenka. I wouldn't do a Panenka, so probably a 30-yard shoot. I'm not capable of that because I have no power in my shot. But, so I would love to have that. A
teammate, past or present, who would be your number one pick to join you in like a five-a-side match?
I need to choose 5 or 1?
Just the first player that comes to mind if I need to have him in my team.
5-a-side. I need a fighter. I need either my good friend Ruben or Fernandinho. Fernandinho.
Yeah.
Fernandinho is a fighter. I need a fighter next to me. Fernandinho, yeah.
He's obviously played down at goals.
Yes.
If you need a fighter for 5-a-side.
Yeah.
The one trophy you're proudest of winning?
The one trophy I'm proudest of winning? The Champions League.
Yeah.
The Champions League.
The food from Portugal that you miss the most that you can't get here in Manchester?
Or just we don't do well enough?
Or that we don't do well, yeah.
That's a tough question, you know. Because I would say that your food, your ingredients are really good as well. So I cook at home because you have the same ingredients, but you cook in a different way. So, but I would say the way that our seafood is made, that's what I miss the most.
Yeah,
seafood.
Yeah, good shout. On the theme of food, what's your favourite English food that you've had since you've been here?
Favourite English food? Favorite English food?
Toughest question of the whole podcast.
No, because well, I like your pies and your fish and chips, but I'm not really into like fried stuff. So let's say that I really enjoy your lamb, for example. Yeah, like Christmas, and I think the meat in general in England is really good.
Nice, good shout.
Would you rather go on a beach holiday or a city break?
Beach.
Easy.
By far.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Final one, probably the toughest of the lot. What's your favourite ever city memory, if you could pick one?
That's really tough. That's really tough. Favorite ever city memory. The easy answer is Champions League final. But I'm going to give you another one, which was also a really good memory. And it's the Gundogan Aston Villa.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2-0 down, last game of the season. The crowd was already, you could feel the frustration. Everyone was really down on the stadium, from the fans to the players. And you score the first one and everyone goes crazy. Score the second and the third. Like in a period of like 5 or 10 minutes, you score 3 goals. That game is a great memory that I have here at the club.
What's that like to go? I think it was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, the emotions.
To go from that sort of frustration to euphoria.
In a bad way, in the opposite, I would say that. Do you remember the Tottenham game? Where the game was like we scored Raheem scored 1-0 and we lost 1-0 there. So Raheem scores 1-0 quite early, so we're equal in the tie. Then they score 2, so we need to score 3. So we scored 3. Then they score in a corner. And then in the last minute you score the goal, but the first time VAR was used for this, it's disallowed. The emotions in football sometimes are crazy.
I've got just very quickly, I've got a real memory of that game where I was about to press the update of Raheem Sterling scores. And as I was about to hit send, my manager grabbed me by the shoulder and pointed, and you could see VAR checking. I was like, I still remember that moment because I knew he was offside. Really?
I knew there's a big chance he's offside because when I saw the pass, I thought Kun is offside. So I didn't even celebrate. If you check the footage, me personally, I didn't even celebrate that much.
Right.
Everyone was going crazy. I think that was probably top 3, one of the most celebrated goals at the Etihad Stadium, by the way.
And you didn't.
And me, personally, I didn't, because from my angle, I could see that he was probably offside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible. Let's move on quickly because we've had a great talk and then we've gone on that bit. So final bit of the podcast, as I mentioned before. So the previous guest leaves a question for you and then you'll leave a question for our next guest. So the last guest we had was Bunny Shaw from our women's team. Really good question. We can obviously try and figure out how you want to answer it, but it's, what's the lasting impression you want the last person you spoke to have of you? So I think it was interpreted as, when we leave this podcast, what are you hoping that we've sort of taken from it about you? It feels something.
Well, at least that I'm not a boring guy. That as you can have a nice conversation with me.
Yeah.
And you're a great singer as well.
Great singer, yeah. Great singer.
So I would say that.
Have people been saying you're boring? I don't think you're boring at all.
No. I'm just hoping you guys don't feel that way.
Not at all. Amazing. And just finally, if you can think of a question for our next guest, so we don't actually know who it's going to be.
Our next guest is gonna be a a football player, right? Either from the men's or women's team.
Most likely, there is a chance
staff.
it might be like a celebrity fan, but the chances are it'll be either one of your teammates or one of the women's players. Yeah.
So let's make a footballing question. What was the most stupid mistake you made in your career? Like a tackle, a red card.
That's a good one.
That's a good one?
Like that.
Yeah.
I think I'd be talking for an hour based off my Sunday League football experience. Oh, amazing. Well, Bernardo, thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Really enjoyed it. And yeah, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers. Thank you.
The unbeatable official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Got a question? Send us an email at podcast@mancity.com.